Hello guys, Bitcoin plebs and bulls, welcome to another FU Money. Today Friday, it's almost the end of the week and this market makes absolutely no sense to me. I spent a few hours today trying to understand what's happening and it's really hard to understand all this. But let's see what is happening with the numbers. Before that, let me just tell you that tomorrow the weekly podcast will hold the last giveaway of $100 in Bitcoin. For now, we will find out some other means of rewarding all the all the loyal followers of the podcast. And until then, so today you will get the last number of the week for tomorrow. So don't forget, let me just go through here and show you guys. Below in the video notes, you will find this link for the giveaway rules. You guys know what to do already, so I will not spend a lot of time explaining everything again. Just follow the rules here, then click the last link on the rules and you will be taken during the live stream of tomorrow to this giveaway form where you will have to fill in all the answers, the correct answers to be eligible for the giveaway. So tomorrow will be the number 7 giveaway, which means that tomorrow we will have given away $700 in Bitcoin to the loyal followers of the podcast. But this form will be only open at the start of the live stream tomorrow, so don't worry. This will be all ready for you guys. Read the rules, don't forget what to do, and now let's go and see what's happening and why is this making absolutely no sense to me. So right now we are at a critical level of $60,950 for Bitcoin, which means that in the past 24 hours we lost 0.3% on the spot market. So these are data. This is data from the spot market only. You guys know this does not account for futures or any derivatives. So right now we are around $60,950 for the price of Bitcoin in the spot market, and in the last 24 hours it was traded $15.77 billion for this asset, for Bitcoin. You guys know already, I don't give an F about all the rest, but this is really crazy. This makes no sense to me how this thing here, this absolute S, is here in second place, even ahead of this here, which makes absolutely no sense to me at all. But anyway, and this one also surprises me to be here in number 4. But anyway, these are the numbers for today. Bitcoin continues to be the number 1 and it will always be the number 1. Everyone knows that. Bitcoin is king. So let's see, and let's move away from the numbers right now and let's go to the charts and see what is happening here. Why do I say that this makes absolutely no sense? Because guys, Bitcoin continues to accumulate, but look at this. This makes absolutely no sense. The S&P continues to explode higher, making new all-time highs every day. Gold continues to also go higher. Today, gold surpassed the 1800 level, $1,800 per ounce, and is moving away from this downtrend channel here, which corresponds to the handle of this 11-year or almost 11-year cup and handle that gold has been forming. So that means that actually for the past 11 years, gold has valued absolutely nothing. So if you bought here, this is now, if you bought here around these levels in 2011, so 10 years ago, almost 10 years, yeah, 10 years ago, more than 10 years already, but let's keep it 10 years. So if you bought here at the peak, you have exactly the same amount in dollars of the gold you bought 10 years ago. So tell me about a good investment, and this is for sure not it. But in any case, this is what makes me wonder what's happening with the markets and making absolutely no sense. Gold is going up. The S&P is going up much higher than yesterday. Not yesterday, sorry, on Wednesday when I published the previous video. And you guys seen that this was like a doji here, this candle. But now on the week, this is going really high. So let me even put the price here. So it's now at $4,700. And gold is at 1,800 per ounce. And the dollar continues to try to break the MRI resistance line. So It makes absolutely no sense how we continue to accumulate for so long on Bitcoin when everything is going up and Bitcoin is just accumulating. I guess Plan B said today that expect 10K candles coming soon. I said, spank me baby with those candles. I will not mind to be spanked by those candles. So give them, and let's see if this goes up. Everything shows, all the on-chain analysis shows that there are really few coins on exchanges, so the supply shock continues. There's an absolute shortage of Bitcoin on exchanges, but it continues to accumulate. I guess there are a lot of bears that still believe that we are going down from 67,000 to previous levels of 2017 probably. You guys see it here, this orange dashed line on the chart. This indicates a 2017 top around 20K. So I guess the bears still believe that from 67 we are going back down to 20. I don't believe that's going to happen. Every person with a complete brain working believes that this is not going to happen unless, you know, guys, unless some crazy shit happens and the world explodes. Maybe we could go back down to 20K, but it's very not probable at the moment that we will do that. So I wonder what the bears are trying to do here. But let's start with the beginning and let's take a look at the charts in full screen. So this is the price to time model. You guys know already we are outside the square, invalidated for the time where we should have a top. So it did not happen. Probably we will have a bit lengthy cycles from now on. And as Willy Woo said before, he believes that this will probably be the last cycle because of all the investment that is coming into the market right now. All the institutional investors putting a lot of money into Bitcoin. So the you know, the cycles that we were used to, you know, these curves like this one here and then this one here, this will fade away in time, and we will not see so many 4-year cycles in on the chart as we were used to in the past. So right now, the timing for the top is invalidated. However, the RSI on the weekly chart continues to be very close to the 70 RSI level. And this is what I'm looking for to see the beginning of the parabolic move to the top of this bull cycle. So I continue to try to see when the RSI goes above the 70 line here to have the second peak, becoming very similar to the two peaks of 2013 when we had a local top followed by 75% correction and then continuation to the upside to finally achieve the last stop around $1,200 for each Bitcoin. Oh man, I miss those days. I never bought any at those prices, but anyway, I would not have minded to buy the top here in 2013, buying Bitcoin at 1200 and just waiting all this time to see it valued to 67,000 right now. Okay, so the price to time model, that's it. There's nothing more I can say here. Total market cap continues to accumulate also. Everything is accumulating in these markets of Bitcoin and shitcoins. So I'm still expecting this breakout from the cup and handle to achieve the 3.65 trillion, but for now everything is accumulating inside the resistance context, which is the gray box behind the candles. So we had an ABC correction recently that found support at previous levels and the top of the cup, and right now we continue to go to the upside, accumulating and finding really heavy resistance around those levels there, which are in the total market cap chart around 2.8 trillion. This was a really strong resistance that we found, and we are now correcting a bit. Everything is correcting. You see the red candles. So that means it's not only Bitcoin correcting, everything is correcting, even Ethereum is correcting. So everything is correcting a bit, but not very heavily. So my bottom level for the total market cap would be continue to be around $2.15 trillion, as this is the bottom of the trending channel right now, and the top of the trend channel is around 2.8 trillion. Sorry. So 2.15, 2.8, these are the levels for the bottom and the top of the trend channel. Okay, So this is right now, the momentum is a bit bearish. You guys see here on the momentum indicator, we are in a bearish momentum. This red bar, the vertical bar here, is indicating that we might probably see a bit of a bearish momentum for a few days. But however, the total market cap price is not going down in such a relevant way as the indicator might say here, down here on the momentum. So for now, I would not expect a big correction, and also we have strong support around these levels. We have the bottom of the trend channel, we have the 50% context line, which is this blue zigzag coming up here, and the market shows also very, very strong accumulation around this area. But if the supports fail, we might see a big correction in the total market cap, bringing everything down to around the 2 trillion level. So let's see how this goes. But for now, all the support levels are holding. Bitcoin is showing that the support level around 61,000 is very, very strong. Let me see the dominance. We are now around 43%, continue to go a bit down, but we are now touching the top of the resistance context. So I'm not expecting a big correction here. We are already close to the bottom where we were, around 39%. So we are now at 43, so 4% above the bottom, the double bottom we found on the dominance. Probably because of all this resistance we are finding on the prices to go up. So let's see how that goes too, but I'm not expecting this to go below these levels here. If that happens, then wow, that will amaze me, because these were the lower levels ever for Bitcoin, was 35% and never less than that. And then we found this double bottom exactly at the same level as this bottom here, around 39%. So I'm not expecting Bitcoin dominance to go below those levels, but if that happens, that will amaze me. Okay, let's take a look at the weekly chart for Bitcoin right now. We finally got out of this descending wedge right here, but look at the weekly candles. This is really strange, and this is why this market continues to amaze me. We have been trying to beat all this resistance of the MRI line up here, the red dots on your chart, on your screens, and we went there one, almost two, and three, almost three. Also, the only one that actually got above was 2 weeks ago, when we had the $67,000 all-time high. But since then we have been approaching that line, and look that this week's candle has actually went higher than the previous week, and we almost touch it again. But I will count this as 3 times that we were rejected trying to overcome this resistance of the MRI indicator. So for now we have 3 dojis, very similar dojis, just different colors, but the oscillation of the candles has been almost the same for the last 3 weeks, except for the shadows of those candles. So it's really weird looking at a chart like this and seeing that Bitcoin continues to accumulate for so long and actually not moving to the upside as all the rest of the market. The yellow circle continues to indicate where I'm expecting to see the RSI 70 line to be broken to the upside, which could mean, which could actually trigger the parabolic move to the exponential bull cycle, to the end or to the final leg of this bull cycle. So this happened in the previous 2 parabolic moves to the upside in 2013 and also in 2017. I saw that the level of the RSI, the 70 level on the weekly chart, was broken just before the parabolic move to the upside. So let's hope this also indicates the start of that move, and I will of course tell you guys when this happens. Right now the weekly chart looks bullish to me. Everything, all indications on this chart look bullish. We are still on a green 5 of 9, which means that we could still have 4 more weeks of upside before an MRI top is reached, and reversal of the price action could take us a bit down for a correction. But we are not right now. We are just navigating the price action in between the top of the ascending triangle and the MRI resistance line, and Bitcoin seems not to be able to break this resistance for now, but also not wanting to go below the top of the ascending triangle. So I see the bulls really strong around 61,000, 60,000. This entire level of $1,000 has showed me that is very, very strong, but the volume continues to go down, which might indicate volatile moves near this day. So we could see this happening in the short term. As volume continues to go down on the weekly chart, we might see some squeeze of the price action and some volatile moves. Now, everything we need to know if this volatile move is going to the upside or to the downside. I continue to believe that because of such strong bulls that we have defending the 60 to 61,000 support right now, this could go to the upside and finally break this resistance for the completion of the cup and handle pattern that everyone is expecting to take us at least to $75,000. So right now, everything looks stopped, like in pause. The market looks like it's paused for Bitcoin except for all the rest of the assets. But we might be approaching a day where this is going to be very, very volatile for Bitcoin because of this squeeze that is happening around here, these levels here. So as to the RSI, as I said, I continue to wait for the cross of the 70 line here on the RSI. The MACD continues to be bullish, the blue above the orange, but we already have a light green bar here, which is a bit lower than the previous one, which might indicate also some loss of momentum for the bulls. Let's see how that goes during the week until the close next Monday morning around midnight. So it's midnight in Portugal now because of the change of the time for winter time. So it used to be at 1 a.m. Now it's at midnight of Monday. So exactly when Monday starts. And the third oscillator here also showing some bullishness, but the bars are not increasing right now. So we might be in for some loss of momentum for the bulls, but I will, of course, continue to evaluate the markets and try to make some sense out of this. Let's take a look at the daily here. So we had the falling wedge. The falling wedge was broken, but we retraced back 3 days in a row to retest the top of the wedge before actually going higher. But now we are in a correction again, and the price has flipped on the daily chart. We are now on a red 1 of 9. And the trend line that has been holding this price, and I will show it much better on the 4-hour chart, has been holding the price right here, and it did so already 4 times before this one. So right now, all the indications here are bullish again. We are finding support on the trend line of the daily chart here, the white trend line of the RSI, the only indicator. Now we have 2 now. So we had only 1 and now we have 2. So the MACD and the oscillator down here are both showing some bearish momentum. We continue to have the blue line below the orange. The bar is increasing. The dark red bar is increasing for today. And also we flipped again to the red below 0 here on the third oscillator. The only thing that I like for the daily chart here on these oscillators is actually the BitMEX funding rate, which is decreasing for the longs and might be in for some shorts here tomorrow, which is good for the spot market as it is a inverse correlation with the spot market. But right now, I believe that this trend line is really holding the lines, but I don't know how long this could take before the break to the downside could occur. So let's take a look at the 4-hour, and of course, we have already a close below the trend line. So right now we have a new candle starting here, but we are below the trend line. This is not a good sign for the short term of Bitcoin price on the spot market. As you guys see here, as soon as we broke out of this descending wedge, we retested the top of the wedge 1, 2, 3 times, and then we started to go higher. However, this correction is taking Bitcoin to lower levels again, and I had this trend line here, but this is only 4-hour chart, so it's not so relevant as trend lines on the daily and weekly. But however, I saw that this was tested 4 times. So we tested this trend line 4 times, 1 here, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there, and then continued to move to the upside. So the trend line, which was pointing up, was in a good sense keeping the price from going lower to lower levels. But right now we have a break to the downside of the trend line and actually a candle close below the trend line. So right now we are on a green candle but now this trend line moved to being resistance, and let's see what happens in this candle of 4 hours, which started just about 1 hour ago. I don't really like the short-term momentum for Bitcoin price. I believe that we could go lower, but we will check the levels or of where we could go in the next chart. So I just showed you already that the dollar for the 6th time in a row is trying to break this resistance of the MRI. Gold is now breaking out of this descending channel. The S&P continues to make all-time highs. Everything looks great in the markets except here, which continues to accumulate in between the areas. So let's talk about two possibilities. If we go down or if we go up, where could we go? So for that, I will use some Fibonacci retracements here, and I will go from the lower levels here. So this is where are we going to find support if by any chance we start to go down from here, and I will just put them here and try to adjust the level to 66,998, which was the last all-time high, which corresponds to this peak here. I will just adjust it to make it really accurate. So this is 66,998.11. This is the correct all-time high price for this index, which is the one I use to analyze the charts. So right now we have been finding support in between the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement and the all-time high, which corresponds to the 0, of course. So we have been navigating in between 57,900 and 66,998, which is 67. Let's make it 67 to simplify the numbers. So we have been navigating around $9,000 difference between this line on top and this line on the bottom here, which is, as I said before, the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement line. So if I'm expecting a correction here, I will start to DCA around the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement, which corresponds to $52,389. This is my support line if we have a bigger correction or if the levels of support break to the downside around here where we are right now. I'm not expecting the 23.6 retracement Fibonacci line to hold the line again as it did here on those levels. I'm just going to zoom in a bit so you guys can see it better. Sorry. So as you guys can see, the 67,000 line is the 0. This is the 23 here. Just a bit here so I can see the levels and the prices. It's much easier that way. So we have been navigating in between this low and this high, and this corresponds approximately to $9,000 in between those two lines. Right now we are very close to the middle of those two lines here. But if some heavy correction happens, I'm expecting that this could be the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement percentage here, around $52,400. And this is where I will start to DCA again to go into the market if this retraces back down. This is just a 50% line, which in this case, I don't really believe it means anything. And if we have a really heavy correction, then bigger than the 38%, that would take us to the 61.8%, which right now it had to be like in the next 2 days to happen before we actually touch the big trend line of the bigger outlook for Bitcoin. So if we are to go to 61.8, and this is something again that makes absolutely no sense to me, that if we go to 61, which has been in the past also a very strong support for retracements in Bitcoin, actually when we corrected from the 64,000 to the 28,000, this was almost touching the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement. You have to believe me right now because I'm not going to put the Fibonacci retracement on this big move to the 64,000, but I've been checking it before, and the 61.8 was actually just here, a bit below the lower levels of this big correction. So if that is to happen in this move, that would take us below the trend line, which is really bad. But for that to happen, not going below the trend line, then it would have to happen in the next few days, because the 61 is already crossing here on the trend line, on the 8th of November. So in the next 3 days, we would have to go down to 43,363 to be able actually to touch the 61.8 Fibonacci retracement before going to the upside again and not crossing this trend line to the downside. As you guys know, is a trend line that has been holding this complete bull cycle since the COVID crash of March 2020 until now. We never crossed below this trend line. So if that happens right now, it would have to happen. If we go to the 61.8, it would have to happen in the next 3 days to be able not to cross the trend line to the downside. And I don't believe that in the next 3 days we are going to see $43,400 Bitcoin. Okay, so for me, right now, the support levels, if I want to get back into the market and buy some Bitcoin again, I've been getting this question a lot. For me, it would be around $52,400. This is the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement, which also corresponds to this peak right here before this correction that we had. So this is support line and also supported the price down here and down here. Okay, so this is a very important level. Now, if you want to know where the market could go in case that we go up, then we have to do it in a different way. Let me just remove this Fibonacci here, and I will put the Fibonacci retracement from the top of 64 to the bottom of 28.8, or in this case 28,754. I will just extend it to this side so we can see it better and then adjust the price. So this is 28,754. Let me just change that. 754, and that's the correct Fibonacci for now. Let's remove the auto and we can move the chart away from here. So if we are to go up and not retrace right now after this accumulation, the next levels that I'm expecting are actually the 23.6% Fibonacci to the upside and the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement to the upside here, which would actually, in the middle of those two, is actually the target of the cup and handle pattern that we saw before on this chart. So let me just put it here on the weekly again so you guys can see it. Here it is, the cup and handle pattern with a target of around 74,000. And that actually corresponds to these two levels of Fibonacci, one at 73, the other one at 78, in between the 23.6 percentage of the Fibonacci retracement and the 38.2 percentage of Fibonacci retracement. So if we are going up, I'm expecting a move at least to touch the 38.2 before another correction occurs. If we are back down, you already know, and this is not the Fibonacci for the support, around 53,400 is the 38.2 support line of the Fibonacci retracement. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys, that so many things make no sense this week. No one knows what's going to happen, although I continue to say that the biggest probability right now is the continuation to the upside. After a possible short-term correction here, we might retouch the 23.6% Fibonacci retracement if we correct a bit more, and then continuation to the upside, and then we have those targets of 73 to 74 to 78. Those two lines there are the targets of the cup and handle, and they coincide. But this market has become real crazy because Bitcoin continues to accumulate while everything else continues to go to the upside, and this is why it's not making absolutely no sense to me what's happening right now. So I will have to wait for the close of the weekly candle this week and see what happens with that doji, the doji that we just saw here, which is really close to the other ones just being red right now. It could turn green anytime because it's so small, the doji right now, and for the past 3 weeks has been like that also. So guys, that's what I had for you today. I'm trying to make some sense of the markets right now. It's not easy to understand how the dollar continues to go up after printing so many papers at the Fed, and gold also moving like crazy today, since at least from Wednesday to today has moved a lot to the upside, breaking out of that handle of the 10-year cup and handle, and Bitcoin just continues to accumulate. It beats me. I don't really understand how the dollar still shows this strength against all other coins, and the only reason is the other coins are actually devaluating faster than the dollar. But in any case, it's not easy to make sense of the markets today. I tried my best, and that's actually why I had this video a bit later, because I was looking at the charts and trying to make some sense of this. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. I have a question here. Let's see who is, at least one question I could answer right now, but I don't want to make this video a very long one. Let's see. If you tell me about divergences on RSI, do you give importance to that? Yes. So the question is, what do you think about divergences on the RSI? Do you actually care about that? Yes, I do care about that, but right now I did not check the divergences, and I don't even know which time frame you are talking about. So I did not have the time to check that before this video. I will continue to analyze the market though during the rest of the week, just the next few days until the market closes the week on midnight Monday. But for now, the most important things are the Fibonacci levels that I just showed you guys, with all the supports and probable entries into the market around the 38% retracement if this goes to the downside, and the targets that we might have to the upside, which could go from $73,000 to $78,000 according to the coincidence between the cup and handle and also the Fibonacci levels. So right now, I don't have anything else to say about the RSI divergences. I might address that in the next video or next week. Let's see how this closes on midnight on Monday, and we will evaluate again the market then. So that's it for today. Before I go, let me just tell you guys something and show you here. So don't forget to be eligible to the giveaway tomorrow. You need to follow these two Twitter accounts. My personal one is on top. The second one is the channel's Twitter account. The third one is the link to the Telegram group that you should join, because there's a lot of people there discussing the Bitcoin markets and other markets in general. So you'll be very, very welcome if you join us there. And I'm also there when I'm not recording, live streaming, or sleeping. And usually people address me directly, and we have nice chats about the markets, and I answer a lot of questions there. So if you want to join, you'll be very, very welcome. And don't forget the Twitter accounts too. Now, just before I leave you guys, let me just give you what you really want for tomorrow. And this is the last number of the giveaway. And of course, as you guys know, it represents nothing. So right now, this is the number I have for you guys. So this is the final third number of the week for the giveaway of tomorrow. Don't forget that. And before we go, gently touch on the like button and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Share it with your friends. Don't forget the notification bell so you get notified every time I go live or upload a video. And right now, to finish everything, as usual, the words of wisdom.
All right, let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out there.
Exactly, guys. Let's roll, and let's be really careful out there in the markets. Don't forget, tomorrow at 4 p.m. Portuguese time, we have the live stream of the week, the biggest live stream of the week, about 1 hour, a bit more sometimes, and we discuss a lot of things, and we also talk with the audience here in the chat. We put them online here on screen with the questions, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.